everybody, this is Double Team Man. Today is May the 2nd, 2022. Today we'll be talking about the Steelers draft of 2022. I will be doing a review. Don't really know if I'm going to do a grade. We'll see what happens at the end. Let's get this thing started. First of all, they have 7 picks. They have in first round, second round, third round, fourth round, sixth round. Although the fourth round pick is a compensation pick, it is not their normal pick. And then they have 2 picks in the 7th round. Really, they only have the top 3 picks are the ones that are concerned. The 4th round, hopefully, cross your hands, you get somebody, but you never know. 6, 7, and 7, you're throwing darts at the wall. What do they need? Well, they need a franchise quarterback. They have starting quarterbacks, so they need a franchise quarterback. They need a nose tackle. Couldn't stop the run for nothing last year. They were last in the NFL, which is disgusting to have a Steeler team be last against stopping the run. That's just not acceptable. They need a nose tackle. The rest of the positions are more kind of wants than needs. They have two offensive tackles that are kind of questionable, so bringing an offensive tackle would be good. Devin Bush is questionable, so an inside linebacker would be good. They really only have 2 good wide receivers, and they're good receivers. They're first number 1, number 2 receivers in Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. So what they need is a number 3 receiver. They could use a cornerback. They got some youth, but no real stars. They got some good people, but just no really superstars. So thought about putting down, star cornerback, but just a cornerback, maybe add some competition. If you don't get one, it's okay. Tight end, again, we can start getting down there a little bit. Tight end, it would be nice to get. I mean, we have Freiermuth, that's fantastic. Not so much behind him. It'd be nice to get a tight end. And it would also be nice to get a number 4 receiver because, like I said, we have 2. You really play with 3 and 4 nowadays. We have some other guys, but we only have 2 that we feel we're really good about. So, get to them. Plus, if you get 2 of them in the draft, they get to fight it out, and that's good. 2 dogs, 1 bone. Let's see what happens. Now, let's see what they start off with. Let's see if they can get that franchise quarterback. Lo and behold, they get Kenny Pickett. Great pick. They got him at number 20. I had him listed as 11 on my board. Out of all the players, I had him listed 11. I had him head and shoulders above every other quarterback. Why? Because, first of all, he did it. Last year, he was great for the whole year. No other quarterback could say that in this class. He passed the Bill Parcells litmus test. As far as number of games, completions, and all that other stuff, he was the only quarterback in this class that passed the Bill Parcells litmus test. So those things, plus the fact that he was 3rd in the Heisman, just kind of shows how great his year last year was. Plus he played in, 49 games? He started 49 games. It's ridiculous. He started a lot of games. He got it together. They got lucky, though. They wanted to move up, and that would have been a mistake now, especially looking at it, because they would have been giving up something for nothing. They need all the picks they can have. Trading up should not have even really been an option this year. Really shouldn't have been, in my opinion. But they stayed put. They got lucky. They got Kenny Pickett. They got the best guy. Fooled everybody. I thought they were going to take Malik Willis, which I thought was going to be a mistake. But nope, they did the right thing. They drafted Kenny Pickett. Fantastic pick. High floor, high ceiling. Love it. George Pickens was not happy when George Pickens got picked. I like George Pickens. I think he's going to be a great receiver. Going into the draft, if you would have told me the Steelers took Pickens in the 2nd round, I'd be like, yes, good pick. Because I thought he was a late 1st, early 2nd round pick, and for him to be there at 20, hey, that's good for Pittsburgh. He's tall, he's fast, he can catch, he doesn't drop anything. Really good receiver. Nothing against him, but he wasn't the best prospect. Travis Jones, a nose tackle, I had rated higher. I had it going earlier than George Pickens. I think he was more important to the Steelers because he fit a need more than George Pickens. This kind of confused me at the time. But okay, you take Pickens, maybe you have a plan. We'll see. I like Travis Jones. Next, 3rd round, they pick DeMarvin Leal. So they don't get Travis Jones in the 2nd round. They come back and they take their defensive end, which is not a nose tackle. They need a nose tackle. They got a defensive end, maybe even a linebacker. DeMarvin Leal. He's 6'4", 283 pounds. He's no nose tackle. He's not even close. You'd have to gain 20 pounds to even start talking about it. So good player, don't get me wrong. He's a good player. He can rush. That's fantastic. I'd rather have Travis Jones. Maybe they got something later on. We'll see. Get a line, get a nose tackle later. Maybe change my mind. We'll see what happens. Next comes the 4th round. Oh, they take another wide receiver, Calvin Austin III. Fantastic. Runs a 4.32, fast, 5'8", 170 pounds. He's quick. He runs harder than the 170 pounds. That's a little bit of an illusion. He's got some power to him. Not 250 pound power, but he's 170. He's more powerful than what you think. I really like this guy. I think with the Matt Canada offense, he could be something. And I'll talk more about it at the end, but there's other reasons why I like him. Supposed to be a pretty, and actually not supposed to be, he is a really good punt returner too, so there's a little bit of added value there for special teams. Next, our 6th round pick, the 30th pick in the 6th round, which is kind of like a 7th round pick. Tight end Connor Haywood. I like this pick. Going into it, I was hoping that they would consider him if he fell down this far, and he did. Basically 6 and a set 2 7th or whatever, 6 half dozen or the other. But I like this pick. He's a fullback. He's not really a tight end, but he's a good blocker. He's a willing blocker, and that's what counts the most. How much do you want to block? If you want to block, you'll be good at it. He wants to block, and he's got the weight and the stockiness and the strength, but I think he's going to be really good at it. I think as a fullback, he's going to be fantastic, and they'll be able to move him around and use him in different ways. Really like this pick. Mark Robinson, nobody had nothing on him. I don't really have much of an opinion on him, other than the fact that I'm not so sure. New linebacker, Mark Robinson, Mississippi. We'll see. Like I said, nobody had any grades on him, so I don't know. This pick, Chris Oladuncan, quarterback, South Dakota State. We took one in the 1st round. Now we're going to we started a draft with the quarterback, and now we're going to end it. So 6'1", a little bit on the short side. I like him 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", a little bit short, but at least he's not 6 foot even. 6'1" is kind of like my baseline. It's about as low as I want to go. 213, that means he's got some power behind it. Boy, is this guy an athlete. I mean, I looked at him and I saw some films and some highlights, and I know they're highlights. He's got some zip to that ball, and he can run, and he's quick. He's a really good athlete, and he can throw the ball. I didn't even look at his stats to see how accurate he is. I will say one thing. Steelers have been studying quarterbacks for about 4 years now. They said it 4 years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, actually 3, 4 years ago. I remember them talking about how they're studying the quarterbacks and they're grading it and they're looking back and so that they can learn, because they knew the time was coming when they were going to have to draft a quarterback, and so they were preparing themselves 4 years ago. They started scouting them, doing charts, and figuring out which quarterbacks they liked. So this is the year they planned on it. So they went all in. They studied every quarterback in this draft. And they decided in the 7th round to take one, even though it makes no sense. They have 3 people, 3 quality starters. There are 3 quality quarterbacks in camp. They don't need a 4th. Now, as far as a throwing arm, bringing in a 4th arm for training camp, that's what college free agencies are for. You don't use a draft pick for somebody you're going to cut. A 4th arm in there, granted, I mean, you can have a 4th arm that's worth something, but you can also have a 4th arm that's not worth anything. They thought, hey, this guy's worth taking. With all their needs, all the stuff that they wanted, they decided this guy. I like this guy. We're going to have to see what happens. I like this guy. I think this guy has a chance. And I'm not talking just to play or just to make the team or just to start. He has a sneaky chance of being real good. So here's their draft. And it wasn't until about the 4th round that I started to figure out what they were doing. I think the 6th round when they took Connor Haywood, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And it makes sense. This is their plan. This is what I think their plan was going in. I'm not sure if they said it this way, but I think this is what their plan was. if they got Kenny Pickett, or but especially Kenny Pickett, but any other quarterback, maybe the same thing, that they were going to take a wide receiver in the second round. And it makes sense if you looked at how the draft went. Right after Pittsburgh drafted wide receiver, there were 3 other teams or something like that. What wide receiver went right after Pittsburgh? Boom, boom, boom. Maybe there was a draft pick in between, but there was a bunch of them that went in a row. So for Pittsburgh to think that there was going to be one there in the second round makes sense. There was a bunch of them there. They had their choice, which is also nice about the Kenny Pickett pick. Both Pickett and Pickens have that in common, and that they were first before a group, so they liked them. They weren't settling for anybody. That's good. But anyways, back to the marriage. What they did was they said, okay, we're going to take a rookie quarterback and we're going to get all of his weapons that he's going to have in the first 4 years of his contract. Now, we're going to have them all together. So that for the next 4 years, Pickett, Pickens, and Austin III and Hayward would all be together. So that in 4 years, they're all going to be cheap and they're all going to be at their peak. They're going to be in sync. They've had 4 years to work together. They've had 4 years to grow as a pro. They're all at their kind of like optimum. And that's good. That's the best way to help out a quarterback. Put weapons around him, put weapons he's going to become familiar with. You don't want a revolving door at wide receiver. You want steady. You want consistency. And the best way to get consistency is to draft that wide receiver in the second round. So I understand what they're doing. It makes a lot of sense. Never heard of it before. Still got the stuck in my mind. What about Travis Jones? Still like Travis Jones better than George Pickens. I understand what they're doing. Had to go back and look at it. Travis Jones. Well, he's 6'4", 325 pounds. I'm not worried about his 40 time. I don't care. He had a 6.34 grade. Well, how's that compare to Pickens? Well, Pickens had a 6.23 grade. It's close. Different people could rate things different ways. I'll tell you what, I had Travis Jones higher than George Pickens. So did NFL Network, for what it's worth. If they didn't get Pickens with the second pick, if they took Jones, then in the third round, they're going to have to take a wide receiver. You just have to. If they want to follow through with their plan, which I do like their plan, they need a wide receiver in the third round. And this is who I ended up getting. Pittsburgh picked 20. This is pick 24 in the third round. So it's like close to when Pittsburgh took him. Jalen Tolbert, 6'1", 194 pounds. Ran a 4.49. He's good. At least he looked good to me. We compare it. We look at this chart. We say, okay, George Pickens, he was 28 ranked in PFF. Travis Jones, 27. NFL score, 6.23, 6.34. Travis Jones slightly wins, whatever kind of thing. Let's compare Pickens to the receiver that we ended up getting. Well, the ranking's a lot higher. The NFL scores really close, 6.23, 6.21. Pickens is a little bit taller. He's 6'3" versus 6'1". 40-yard dash. Pickens is a little bit faster, so not much. It's a virtual tie, actually 4.47, 4.49. Tolbert's a little bit stockier. I did bring that up. Now comparing Tolbert to him, as far as the ranking, Tolbert's significantly higher. And again, the NFL scores virtual tie. I'm not worried about height and weight. So you can go either way. Compare the Steelers draft to what I would have done. Now, these last few, whatever, I took a different linebacker. I took a cornerback instead of the quarterback. I'll probably change this out now. This is what I have if I were drafted. This is what I think I would have done. I think I would have done the nose tackle. I like what they're doing. I like their idea about tying up the quarterback and the receiver and actually bringing in 2 receivers and really letting them get in sync, because rookie quarterbacks, you have 4 years to win. You have that 4-year window. To maximize that 4-year window, you draft wide receivers in the same year. They get in sync. They will be at their peak in 4 years. So I like the idea. I just would have done it different. Thanks for listening. Bye.